Welcome to the Love and Victory Show with Val, where we will bring you candid conversation. In each conversation, we will talk about real life ups and downs while tackling unresolved matters. We will also unmask issues and truly speak straightforward and candid about our needs and brokenness, while allowing ourselves to exhale so that we can become victorious. This is a place where you can be open to the possibilities of living life in abundance while gaining tools to become bold and complete. So let's get to it. There you go. We coming on in here. Did y'all enjoy the music? Put a 1 in the chat if y'all really enjoyed the music. Put a 2 if you didn't. And let us know what kind of music you like to listen to when we go on break, and we'll make sure we have it there for you.
I better not see no twos.
Oh, did you hear what he said?
That's right.
They better like y'all music.
Yeah.
Don't come for my team, but I want y'all to be honest with us.
Give us some feedback.
Give us some feedback. Let us know.
Not like Keith Lee.
when we transition to the break, I really want you guys feedback. So let us know what kind of music you want to listen to. We got all kinds.
Yeah.
We can catch us 24/7. It's time for the intro, and we just to let it go.
Well, we got a few things going on this weekend. This is Valentine's Day.
That's later. We're gonna do that.
Hush, ladies.
Oh, God.
All right. This is Super Bowl weekend. This Super Bowl weekend. I want my people out there that's watching the Super Bowl. Put for San Francisco, put the SF in there. If you're for Kansas City, put the KC in there.
Oh,
If
okay.
you put Usher, put Usher in there.
Yeah. Or put TS in there.
No, I don't know about Taylor.
Whatever you like. So, and also this is Valentine's Day weekend. It's time for love. So let's make sure that we loving each other the way we need to.
Okay. We got a little something to let you know what you can do special.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I don't know about the Super Bowl. I don't know enough about that. I'm ready for the Usher concert.
Oh,
That's what I'm looking for.
You just put Usher in there. Then.
Okay. All right. Well, now it's time to get this show going, and nobody can introduce like Brother Carter.
Oh, well, these two don't need introduction.
Okay.
These two been on the show a number of times, and so we don't have to introduce them to the people because the people already know them.
But we got a new audience.
And so,
we have a new audience.
but that's why they're going to introduce themselves.
Ooh, okay.
I like how you spun that.
their own special way.
All right, then. There's your camera.
All right. So we have Christina Price, all right, and we have Adonis Mitchell on the show today, and they're going to introduce themselves in their own special way.
All right, then. I love that.
So starting with the beauty first. Hey, man.
Then you're going to go to the beach?
I was going to start with Adonis.
Well,
yeah, he said the beauty. He said the beauty. All right.
Go ahead.
Let me go ahead.
oh, you giving way to Adonis, huh? Okay.
All right. Where am I? I'm okay. Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Adonis Mitchell, but you can call me AD. I coach individuals.
Wait a minute. That's his signature move there. Greetings and salutations. I like that. Go ahead, AD.
Let's try this again.
He don't practice that. He has it down.
Say, when you do it enough, you got it. My name is Adonis Mitchell, but you can call me AD. I coach individuals and corporations on how they can bridge the gap. It's not your fault that there is a gap, but it is your responsibility. Better yet, it's your duty to bridge it. And I'm glad to be here once again.
All right. I'm so glad to have you also.
Welcome home.
Yes.
All right.
That's it. That's all you had for him?
That's it.
That's it. That's the introduction.
I'm ready to get into this.
All right.
Well, I'm going to just keep it short and sweet. I am Christina Price, also known as Christina. Greetings to everyone. I'm going to have to come up with something like that. Come on. Greetings and salutations. I'm going to come up with something next time.
All right.
But I am Christina, makeup artist by profession. I just do a lot of things.
You do a lot.
I'm working on building my ministry, which is called Chosen Lifestyle on YouTube. Yeah, it's just things are changing.
You do a lot of things, but you are one unique, beautiful woman that loves the Lord.
Absolutely.
And that is open at any time to have a conversation, never judging. So, if I think of who you are, And when I met you, you are truly one of God's own.
She's gonna make you cry.
Yeah.
All right.
Because she really is a person that absolutely loves God, but she loves God's people. And so I'm just so grateful.
Well, we should let you introduce her.
Well, I'm so sorry. I had to go there.
You ain't gonna say enough. Let me see.
Okay. Well, I just because Christina is a person that is she's
humble.
She is very unassuming. Very powerful. And so when I don't see that come out,
she like
because somebody needs to hear it in the back of the room.
All right.
I'm just saying, I'm gonna leave that alone now.
Amen. Okay, all right, host. It's on you now.
We ready to get this show popping?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm Abigail. Don't forget me.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God.
Come on, executive.
Well, since you said that, Abigail, let's let Anna introduce herself, because you guys are part of the show as well. So
Yes, well, I'm Anna, Coach Anna. I am the nonprofit coordinator for L&V Enterprise Resources, and I'm here for this convo.
Okay. And who are you again, Abigail? Let me let you officially.
The executive.
Okay, come on now.
She got to put her stuff on.
You know. My name is Abigail, or Abby. Call me what you want. I am the executive media coordinator for LV with Val Radio and the Love and Victory Show with Val. I do all things media.
All right.
That's all y'all.
And she do it well too.
That Abigail has grown into. Because you remember when Abigail first started, she was little soft, little quiet. That pettiness just came out.
Well, let me tell you,
I'm spending a lot of time with Miss Carter.
Oh well, I didn't want to say nothing.
That lets me know I'm doing my job.
Rubbing off.
Well, now it's time for the acronym. Of course, I've noticed that they put already a question up in the comments. Actually, it's like a poll. So please go out there and vote on the poll, because we will discuss that down the road. So, all right, time for the acronym so we can get it going.
Yes. So our conversation for today is your independence is getting in the way.
Oh.
And so the acronym is supposed to kind of set the tone for today's conversation, give us something to go off of. And so the word of the day is dominate. Dominate. D is for diligent, working with careful effort. O is for overbearing, excessively domineering or controlling, often imposing one's will on others. M is for mulish. Stubborn, obstinate, and difficult.
Like foolish.
It does. It is kind of. It's stubborn, obstinate, and difficult.
Like a mule.
They come from like mule. Yeah, that's
Probably. I is for independent, free from outside control, not depending on another's authority. N is for narcissistic, overly self-involved. A is for attractive, appealing, drawing attention.
Oh, God.
T is for trendy, up to date with the latest trends.
Yeah, that's you, Val.
E is for egotistical, self-centered.
That's not me.
And so the reason I chose some of these words like trendy, because we're talking about independence, right? And this whole independent women trope is very trendy. And I think there's pros and cons to it.
I would agree.
I think there's some of that's needed in society as we grow. But I also think sometimes things can be too trendy and it can go to another extreme. So I'll leave it at that. Y'all take over.
All right.
Well, I'm ready to have this.
Thank you, executive.
Thank you. You did a great job. I think that, when we're discussing titles for the show and having a conversation, this actually kind of spun off of a conversation we were having on another show. And we were kind of talking about sometimes women being so independent and so, but we want a man, And I'm not saying that we need to become this fake, docile person in order to, weak, vulnerable person in order to attract a man, but we got to find that balance. So as Abigail and I were having this conversation, I really wanted to dig into that. And how does that look to you? And how does it affect? And since we have a female and a male on the panel, and of course, we're going to always keep it in here, we really want to have that conversation. So let's go. When you heard the title, and I'm going to start with Christina as the lady on the panel first. When you heard the title of Your Independence, Is It Getting in the Way? What did you
First, are you independent?
Oh my.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I had to be.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't have another option, but sometimes you get so caught up into it, it turns to something perverted kind of thought. You know, because I remember just when I was so independent and I can do this on my own because I had to, and it's like, you know what, I got this, I don't need no man. And then I started to adapt the mindset, heck, I could be my own man. I'm a man. You know, sometimes people don't say it, but those are the thoughts.
So the independentness do get in the way then.
It can when there's no balance to it. Of course, I did the things that I had to do, but I took it I just took it the wrong way versus just like, okay, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do because of my situation at the moment. But I just took it too far.
But that's not who God created you to be.
That's absolutely not who He created me to be.
Okay, so when you heard the title, that was a good question. But when you heard the title, what did you think? What initially came to you?
It was a curse, something to set me up for failure. Something to really get me out of my true power, my true essence of my femininity. Because a lot of times women, we don't realize that's where our power is when we're actually soft. And it was funny when I heard the topic because that's what God has been dealing with me lately with or whatever. And so I've been in Genesis chapter 3 when He cursed Eve and He was like, you're going to want to rule over your man and he's going to be over you. So, it made me think. And then when I get the topic, it's like, and that was always my intention, to control you, so I can have the upper hand, so I can get you to do what I want you to do. Even if I didn't say it, that's what I was really feeling in the inside,
Wow.
So it was really something set up for my demise. That's why I don't believe in the whole feminine, woman power type thing movement. Yeah. That was a setup from the enemy.
Oh, y'all know we get ready to have a good conversation over here. And with that being said, I'm gonna turn to
that was mighty.
That was mighty. That was deep. That was deep. I'm gonna turn to AD, the male on the panel. When you heard the title, and then of course the same question that Brother Carter asked you, answer his question and then answer my question. What was your thought?
So,
are you independent?
No, I'm married.
Okay.
So I am not independent. I am dependent on my wife for a myriad of things.
That's amazing.
I am dependent on my circle of friends. I'm dependent upon the networking group that I have that hold me accountable. So I am I'm a dependent person. And I was created that way. There was only one that was initially created to be independent, and then the creator said that ain't right. So He fixed that. So when I initially heard the topic, I thought relationally, but not in the intimate space. I thought of a spiritual connection that we should have. We are created to be dependent beings. We created to be in relationship with one another. And so often we are out of relationship because of miscommunication, disagreements, perspectives that are just off, beliefs that aren't in alignment, you name it. So it causes us to stray away instead of having the conversation to find the commonality between the two of us. And so often that forces independence. And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because anytime that we bring up the male-female perspective, I always lean heavy on holding the men accountable, because scripturally that's what God would do. And if you were in a position to where you felt you had to do it on your own, the first question that popped up in my mind was, where was the covering? Whether it was a fatherly covering, whether it was an uncle, a brother, or a significant other who could potentially at some point in time be a husband to cover it, like where was that? Because if that was broken, then of course you have to go and you need to survive. But so often men make choices, or they take these routes that have a huge impact on so many other individuals that force them into these roles, men and women. So that's the question that I initially had. And I'm sure that there was, as in some capacity, there was not a covering which forced you to transition into that or adopt that mentality. And I put that on the brothers. That was a misstep on my end.
It's funny you say that, because you can still have sometimes we get it twisted. You can still have a presence, and I'm not talking about any individual. I'm not even talking about myself. You can still have a presence in your life that is a male, and they appear to be in some places giving you that coverage.
Yep.
However, in the most important area, they're not.
Mhm.
And that's the most important area that you need as an individual.
Mhm.
So when I think about that, we still, we like to say, well, you had your father there, you had a
Mhm.
brother there, you have a husband there, and so why are you acting, or why are you needing to be this independent person? So then it goes back to, you need to really look and see, what is it that you're lacking,
Yeah.
or that person is lacking giving you? So
Right. Because for me, my dad died when I was like 13, 14. And so I was just always upset about the fact not having that male figure in my life, just that dominance of a man. And so I always kept men around me. I had close friends that were men, and I would look to them like it was just, again, perverted. I would look to them as a father figure, but they were absolutely not.
But
very manipulative.
I love you using the word perverted, because that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, absolutely. It distorts the truth.
Yes.
And so, and I had men, of course I can call for this or call for that, but it's always, it was the mindset more than anything. Oh, I can do this. I don't need you.
Yeah.
When in all actuality I did. It was just like a reverse psychology type thing.
That when you're saying that you don't need someone, that's the very thing that you need, or you don't need something. And so I'm actually relating to that. It's resonating with me right now, because in a situation, whenever I hear someone saying, I don't need, I immediately think, oh my God, they're crying out. That's exactly what they're needing. They're projecting by saying what they don't need. That's what they need.
That's what I need, because I needed a father figure.
Yeah.
I mean, I went through rejection, carrying the spirit of rejection for not having my father. Granted, he died. It wasn't his fault. But I still held it like he left me.
Yes.
It was just so weird. And I mean, I literally just released that a couple of years ago, like 3 years ago.
Because you just recognized what that was.
Yes. And so that's why God just really had to teach me. That's why it's so important to have a relationship with him. Because when you learn to be dependent on him, and allow him to be those things that you're missing, it's like, it's a whole different perspective. It's a whole different outcome. And so I didn't realize that. And, because I always used to say, oh, I'll be married in 2021. I'll be married because I'm realizing this is what I want. This is what I need. I'm getting my healing. I'm growing. I want to be married. I'll be married in 2021. So 2023 come about, the beginning of 2024. I'm like, dang, I'm not married. And so I go in my journal. Look, I go in my journal and I say, oh, look, that was cute. I wrote in 2021, I'm going to be married. But God had to bring it to me. You were married. You married me because that's when you gave me your yes in 2021. So it was like, oh my God. Like, so once you learn how to submit, to that relationship and be dependent on him, on that relationship, totally for everything, you'll learn how to embrace dependency.
And you don't look at it as a failure.
And you don't look at it as a weakness.
Yeah, because I think what the flesh would have made me look at is that I said, I declared this in 2021 that I'm going to be married, or whenever you declared it in 2021 or 2023, I'm going to be married. And then 2023 came and it never happened. So, oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Let's think about it. If you go back to 2020, 2021.
Well, let's go back and let's just say here, if
you could have had somebody.
Oh yeah, I probably had somebody.
Yeah, but in my mind, I really want you to say what you get ready to say, but in my mind, as an individual, as a woman, if I truly believe that this is what's supposed to happen, because I'm writing it down, these are my goals, and a lot of the generation people, especially women, are goal driven, and so.
Wow, that's good.
Let me come back to, and I'm not coming for any organization, any fraternities, none of that. But one of the things that I've noticed from the outside, it's very, very structured. And so put your goals out, put your goals out, write them down, live on that, whatever your goals, whatever you put out there, that's what it's going to be. But I don't think that it's being taught what happens when it don't, because that's a man goal.
Mhm.
Are you aligning that goal that you're writing down? Have you prayed before God? Have you laid it before the altar?
Mhm.
And you and God decided this is a goal time.
So now you get into my realm, the coaching piece. So anytime I have structured out a plan or a program for a team or a group of individuals or even a person, once we get to the goal talk, the goal has to be smart. So it has to be specific. It has to be measurable. It has to be something that you can actually achieve. It has to be timely. So we have to put a time frame associated with it. And it has to be relevant to where you are in your space. So if you're someone who is just entering therapy, or you're someone who is trying to be healed, it doesn't make sense for you to make a goal to be married in 3 months or by the end of the year, because it may take you more time to navigate whatever trauma you have to navigate, so that you are ready for someone.
But maybe they haven't even recognized that they need therapy.
So that's,
or maybe they
right.
haven't even recognized
The true
process, because people, and I'm not cutting you off.
No, you're fine.
You know what
I'm
I
used
do.
to it.
This conversation.
Okay, so maybe they just want, they have this thing because everybody is saying, write your goals down.
Yeah.
Write your goals down.
Yeah.
So they're goal driven, and they've been goal driven for a long time. So they are actually living by these things they wrote down. And when it don't happen, they're devastated.
We're not using wisdom when we actually write.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, I want this. And then granted, at the beginning of the paper, at the top, I had new moon.
Yeah.
I was kind of like opening myself up to that foolishness.
And
new
so
moon, what totally all,
So right.
Now, when you set goals, shouldn't it be realistic?
Yes.
Something you can.
So even by writing it down, scripture tells us to write the vision and make it plain. So there's nothing wrong with the writing of a goal. There's nothing wrong with that. The challenge that we have is a lot of times these aspirations that we have are so grand that we have not done the daily work necessary to achieve whatever it is that we're looking to achieve. You want to be a millionaire, but like you got $5 in your bank account, and you still owe me 200.
Your credit score is 3.
Right. So we have to look at the daily actionable items that we can check off of our list, so that we know that we are pushing toward this goal. Scripture tells us again, I press towards the mark.
Don't know how
so you're pressing. There's going to be some type of friction.
Measurable steps.
Correct. There's something that you have to do daily that is going to get you to wherever it is you want to be, whether that's relationally, whether that's in your business, whatever it is. There's something that you can do daily. And if you're not doing those things, then it doesn't make sense for you to make such a large goal.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, but God is so gracious and good, because I made that large goal where I was, just beginning my healing, and so of course it did not happen because I just was not ready. But God said, no, but I was ready for you. So it was more like a spiritual thing that happened that had to take place in order to prepare me for when it does become my time.
Yeah. And then to Val's point, on the flip side of that, if you've made this large goal and you weren't able to achieve it, what does that look like on the back end? Like, what is the evaluation that you've done on yourself? Like, hey, I wanted this, but I wanted to lose 30 pounds, but I didn't get a gym membership.
I actually gained more weight than where I was.
I didn't get a gym membership. Didn't even
get off the couch.
I didn't get off, like those it's difficult for us to have those types of conversations, even if it's just with ourselves, because then we have to be honest and truthful with the fact that, okay, yeah, I did have all them chips that I was eating and I wasn't supposed to be getting.
Don't talk about my chips. That means cut something else off.
You walking and going to the gym and all those other stuff. I did go to brunch every weekend and I did not, have this plan set up in place so that I can be successful. So the evaluation on the back end is important. I think just as important as is actually establishing some type of aim to set yourself out.
But saying you want to be married at a certain point, that's also employing another individual into your life. That's a very don't fit into you. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And I like when you said that you're setting a goal for your life. Because that's the path that God set for you.
That's good.
So you're wanting to say you're setting a timeline. Well, because society has said by 25, 30, you need to be married. You should have this for you graduated from college or whatever.
Don't listen to them.
And then, you done graduated from college. You have, you're making the money. So now this man needs to be in your life. And then now you have to have your kids. And so you then start to look, I'm,
30. I'm hitting 30 and I still have no man in my life. I don't have any kids. What's going to happen for me? So now you come into this defeated state.
Or you start to settle.
Yeah. You start to just be like this. You start
That
really,
part right there.
you settle. And then I'm going to say something else that is so easy. You stop caring about yourself. You don't adore yourself. You don't value yourself.
Give it up.
You just kind of give it up.
Yeah.
So whatever I get at this point, and you don't realize you walking around with a signpost. And so that
Saying,
predator,
come dog me.
come dog me out. I just want to be buried.
I was in that place for a while. And
I knew Anna was coming in. Come on, Anna, give it to her.
Yeah, I was in that place for a while where I kept kind of feeling defeated after that crazy boyfriend, the one that took me shopping in the
Anna is not playing. If he needs to listen to the Love and Victory,
Yeah.
he can grow.
I want to hear these stories.
Yeah, he don't open doors. He don't pay for dinner.
He don't pay
do-
for dinner. He don't, nothing.
No,
That was your
nothing.
fault.
This dude is straight up sorry.
Towards the end.
What you say that was you heard?
That was my fault.
That was your
because
fault.
I had the power to stop it. I had the
Yeah.
power to say, okay, enough. What is your
I
BS?
deserve
Why are you
more.
trying to undervalue me? And I think he did that because he felt like I was too much for him, right?
Okay, somebody I don't mean to cut
go ahead.
anybody out, but I think Herman Lane keeps calling you Michelle.
No, I think they're talking to Adonis.
They're calling him
Mitchell, because I think they're
This is
thinking
Mitchell.
Mitchell. Okay, so
Yeah.
we gonna
Just 2 letters, AD. Just
okay. Okay, so I just want
Michelle.
to
We've
make
got a couple Michelles in there.
Okay, so
We've been giggling.
Say y'all don't do my nephew like that.
I don't mean to,
Don't
but I
do
want to
my
make.
nephew
I
like
just want to
that.
make sure, and don't stop commenting because I'm loving your comments
yeah,
out here.
keep commenting. Just
Yeah.
AD.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Oh, that was Anna talking. Go ahead.
So I was undervaluing myself, and after him I said, like, you know what, I'm just gonna try to just enjoy and just try to open up and everything. But from that mindset, a bunch of just catfishes kept coming in. Catfish after catfish. Like,
Wow.
they would treat me nice in the beginning, and then they would show their true colors, and then they completely different person from who
Well, they
I
send their
am.
representative.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it goes back. I love that because,
Mhm.
I always think about what Stephanie says when she comes on. She talks about the representative.
They do
You-
too.
Both of them
Yeah.
do. But I really love that because
That's Stephanie. My
yeah,
sister.
that's Stephanie really, because they came in and they talked about there's a representative you're going to meet when you
Mhm.
first start dating someone.
Mhm.
And that representative is really getting to know you
Mhm.
and your weakness. It's that, I mean, I believe that he or she is really trying. They're sitting there and they're almost like a snake. I hate
Yeah,
to-
just to
Slither.
see where they
Yes.
can sneak in at.
Yeah.
So being in management,
Okay.
when you interview people,
Mm-hmm.
their representative shows up.
They're
They got this nice resume,
Mhm.
all these
Oh, don't even get me on
accolades, all this
that.
other stuff. And you're like, on paper, you look good.
good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In the interview, you can answer these questions, you can talk. Okay. So what did most companies start to do?
Mm-hmm.
We will hire you, but we're going to give you 30 days, 60 days, 90 days,
Mm-hmm.
either an evaluation or before you get these benefits.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Take that how you want. Now, in relationships, a lot of times it's the same thing.
It's
You're
the same.
interviewing someone,
Mhm.
they're interviewing you, you're seeing if there's anything you have in common, you're looking at the resume they bring to the table, whether it's what they drive, what they do, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the relationship has started, I think that typically that representative tends to go away within that waiting period.
Mhm.
Then you get to see who the real person is.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where a lot of people have a challenge when it comes to relationships as far as dating nowadays.
Mhm.
I'm so thankful I don't have to deal with that. But that's a challenge that a lot of the female friends that I have, I'm meeting the same
And I'm glad you
Mhm.
said
A lot of times-
females because, and I want you to dig in. I'm gonna let you go, and then I'm gonna come back to that.
Because a lot of times I think it's because what we have in us that we attract.
100%.
Mhm.
1,000%.
Yes,
You know, if we
1,000%.
keep attracting the same repetitious behavior, the same type of person,
Mhm.
it's because what we have in us. And what I recently just learned, even though I didn't really have these experiences, but when women go on dates and you talking to the person,
Mhm.
so the representative is there, you really teach him how to
Mhm.
treat you because of the things that you share with
100%.
him.
Mhm.
Like if I'm sitting there telling you, I was in my relationship
he
for 10
did this.
years
Mhm.
and he didn't do this and he didn't do
Yes.
that and he beat me a couple of times and everything. everything. The representative sitting there like,
oh,
oh,
you
okay,
weak.
you gon'
That's what you're willing to put up with.
That's
You
what
willing to put up with that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, so I could just string you
Yeah,
along.
I can slide
okay.
down the street on you and come on back.
Oh, he
And you
cheated
gonna
on
take
you.
it.
He went
So I
did
just
this
gotta
to
woo you a little bit.
And
I got you. You easy.
girl,
I ain't that attracted to you no more. First of all,
Mm.
but I'm gonna use you for my benefit, so I'm gonna keep you over here. And I'm like, we do it all the time, you know.
you over communicate.
Over communicate like, oh
Versus-
well, we can bind if I can't trust him and I can't share with him different things, you know, well, we shouldn't be together. It's like, come on.
Well, I think the over communication isn't the problem. I think the
I
challenge.
think it is.
I don't.
I think it is, and
We
I'm going
can-
to tell
we
you.
can
This
agree
ain't
to
tasteful and
disagree.
toxic.
It's okay.
I'm going to agree, and I'm not getting.
I'm not being
It's
toxic.
not
I know.
tasteful and toxic.
No, he talking about me. But I'm going to tell you why, and I love this because I do think that you sometimes you can do too much talking and not enough listening.
I think you're talking about the wrong thing. That's
No, I'm
what,
not.
That's what,
That's
no,
what
no,
Lanita
no.
just said in the
Yeah.
comments. She said, and you done sat there and carried the convo and didn't allow him to share.
There you
So
go.
so
They're studying.
I'm a listener most of the time when I'm in these types of conversations.
What?
100%. I'm on the radio now.
Yeah.
I have to express and shit.
Yeah.
But if I'm in a scenario where individuals are communicating, I tend to have I like to listen.
Mhm.
I think that's one of my best qualities.
Mhm.
What I also like to discuss is things that have nothing to do with your past. I want to talk about principles.
Mhm.
I want to talk about character. I want to talk about those things because that will show me a lot more about you
Mhm.
than you talking about Joe Blow or the things you'd like to do on
Yeah.
Friday and Saturday. And I think that's a challenge with people because they can't go that deep
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
initially.
I agree with you, but here's the thing: when I'm speaking from a woman's perspective, women are emotional,
Mhm.
and
Men are too.
well, I'm glad to hear that.
Mhm.
But I think that we think being so vulnerable and sharing so much, and we're talking so much that
We find connection there.
yes,
And
and,
that's-
so you
I agree
miss
with you.
out on listening.
But the challenge is not everyone is going to be a good steward with your vulnerability.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if we get to principles
Mhm.
and character, now I have a general guise of, okay, where I can trust you with the fact that,
Mhm.
you know, my father passed away, or I can
Mhm.
trust you with the fact that my mother had cancer, or those things.
And
But if
that's
we
what I'm
can't get the
saying. So
character
you
under-
have to start with listening on both sides.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
having a conversation with someone just get to know a person.
Mhm.
You don't have to vomit.
Mhm.
You don't have to share it all on your first date.
I think
Oh,
you need to ask yourself, what am I trying to achieve here?
yes.
Right.
Come on, Brother Carter.
You know, what
Well, yeah, a lot of
actually
people
am I
date-
trying to achieve in this conversation?
Right.
You know, a lot of people date with no intentions. They're just like, oh, well, we're going out to eat. And so we just gonna
Mhm.
sit and eat and we're gonna have a few drinks and the conversation just gonna lead to where it leads to. You know, people not really using discernment and they're just not using wisdom. Like I'm just here. So we just gonna flow with it.
Mhm.
You know, and they just flow with all the bad stuff. You know?
And flowing with it is cool if that's your intention.
Mhm.
Mm.
Right.
But let's set the intention from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay,
we even go on a date.
is your intention to date and see if we have things in common, our principles are
Mhm.
the same, our beliefs are the
Come
same, so
on
that
now.
we can now potentially move forward to a desired end?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Or we just gonna be shooting the breeze every other Saturday, going to brunch together,
Right.
maybe going on a cruise here and there, you know, do what we want to do.
Do right.
If that's the
And so,
intention.
so are people really trying to learn or get to know individuals these days, or are they just trying to get into the moment?
I think that's a
You know,
that's a good question.
that's a real good question.
I think culture is trying to get into the moment. I mean,
Yeah.
when you
Ooh.
have culture people,
Yeah.
that's what culture is. Oh, we just going with the flow and we just getting into the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
The way it
Fold
go.
the-
We
that's
had a
the
good
wrong
time.
fold of the word.
What?
We
I
use
bought you some
flow because
food.
we over the age of 35.
So
Vibe is what they're using now.
Right, yeah.
I just want a good vibe.
Vibe.
Like, let's
Mhm.
stay- and vibing is cool, but vibing don't
I
pay the
don't-
bills.
okay, I'm
Mhm.
confused.
Vibing,
I'm confused.
it's the same
When
thing.
no, when I think of vibing,
Mhm.
I think of sitting back, listening to music, having a cocktail.
Right, because you over the age of 35.
Oh.
It's okay.
Mhm.
Just barely.
No,
Very-
Just
very
barely.
close. Very-
Barely.
very-
Okay,
Vibe
there
and
you go.
like the energy is good. we
Right, there's a
connected.
connection. Like
Mhm.
with this conversation, there's a vibe with this
Mhm.
conversation
Okay.
because it's flowing.
Okay.
Everyone is able to converse and have this a part
A
in
part
the
of-
conversation.
Mhm.
And if we were out, people would see, oh, okay, it's a vibe.
They
over
vibe.
that space.
They vibe.
And they would
Okay.
probably want to be a part of it.
Mhm.
Ooh.
But the same could be said when you are out at a date. If the energy is just not conducive to us to
Mhm.
move forward, I'm just going, God bless you.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
And a lot of people have a problem with doing that.
Mm.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, a lot of people have a problem receiving that. They take it personally.
Yes.
It's not that it's you. It's just
It's not vibing.
Yeah, this is
not a
just
connection.
Not, yeah.
So do you think that, and that's a good segue to my question, do you think that it's difficult to say it's not vibing and move on where it's not toxic because you're not worried about how that person is going to reject you? I think you should, let me just
Say what you're saying. Then.
What I'm saying is it safe to just, if it's not working, move on?
it is definitely safe.
It's healthy.
Yes.
Well, see, that's when toxicity starts. When you say, you know what, I don't really like him like that. We're not vibing, but I'm gonna still go out with him again.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
then that
that-
You're
becomes
setting
there you
yourself
go.
up. now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
And we
now,
do it.
because now you are at the liberty of whatever happens.
Mhm.
Ooh.
You're no longer in control of the situation. You had control because there was an option
Mhm.
and an opportunity for you to say, hey, this just isn't working.
Mhm.
And it's not you. It just, I don't work with whatever it is that's going on.
Mhm.
And that's okay.
Mhm.
Well, I'm going to bring it back to
You look good and everything, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm just not feeling.
Yeah.
You know.
And so you need to cut
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? Okay, so I'm going to come back to the feminine era.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mhm.
and what are your thoughts on the feminine? That's just really, and I want to hear from the man perspective.
Like the women's movement situation.
Yeah. What's your thought on that?
I think the challenge with that movement is independence is good in the right place. It is good for you to be on your own to do a certain thing because you need to have your own lane.
Mhm.
You need to have because you have your own desires, your own wishes, all the other stuff. But when you are independent to a point to where it cancels out any form of dependency when it comes to the opposite sex, family, friends, whatever, that's when it becomes toxic.
Mhm.
That's when it becomes challenging.
Especially when you're married or in a relationship.
Yeah. But I was just speaking to the single folks. Because I think a lot of us, men included, the independent bandwagon, we've jumped on it, and then we've realized, hey, I am by myself.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I am lonely.
Mhm.
I would like to share whatever I have with someone else in
Mhm.
some capacity.
Mhm.
How can I do that? But then you've been on that wagon for so long,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you've developed certain tendencies, you developed certain walls and
Yeah.
built them up yourself.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be a challenge for someone to even
Right.
try and scale
It
it
is.
Yeah.
Right. Mhm.
or to fit in wherever they
Ooh.
can. That's a challenge.
Mhm.
And that's where I think the struggle of the independent movement. Now, I think it was right, of course, to have women's rights and all those other things
Mhm.
that
Yes.
that came from it. But when we talk about relational connection,
Mhm.
that's where the independent movement, I think, did a lot of damage.
I agree. Abigail, you
Come
have
on,
something.
Abby.
Yeah, so I agree. I agree with that. I think there are pros and cons to this like idea of being an independent woman and I don't need no man, blah, 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 whatever. And I think it comes from a place of fear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because as someone who has come from a family where most relationships did not last,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and I was taught, you can't rely on anybody. You can only rely on yourself. And I don't think that was a bad thing to be taught because, like you said, independence is important because anything could happen to anybody. You need to be prepared to be able to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's such a thing as too dependent, overly dependent, codependent, whatever. But yeah, I think it definitely comes from a place of fear. Like, well, I'm scared that this person might leave me high and dry, so I need to make sure that I have my stuff together and I can take care of myself. And I think to a certain degree, you do need that. If you're married for however many years and you rely on your person to do X, Y, Z, not only can that person hurt you financially, hurt you physically, hurt you emotionally to the point where they can't do that anymore for you, but people pass away. You know what I'm saying? Like that can also be a thing. So if you're overly dependent on like your partner and then they're gone and for whatever any of those list of reasons, it's I think it's a double-edged sword that you have to be mindful
I
of.
think for me, when I think about that, I like what you said there. But I think for me, when I think of me personally, when I getting to a point that I gotta do because I don't want to feel this, it still goes back to fear.
Mhm.
I don't want to experience this. It goes back to fear. And when anytime you're operating in fear, you're putting up walls and you're setting yourself. You have prerequisites for everybody else because you don't want to feel or you don't want to suffer a loss or a failure, which you're walking around with this big sign on yourself that I'm a failure. You think that you're not, but you are.
Oh, it's a billboard.
It's right there.
Yeah.
So you can't. for me, I'm going to speak for me because I walked with that thing of I can't let someone hurt me like this. I can't be, I can't show this vulnerability. I can't show this weakness because I don't want to feel that again. So I got to put this wall up like I'm so strong. And so all it is actually a turnoff. And it really shows your weakness. And so for me, I had to get, and I'm still working. It's a daily, because it'll come back again. It's a daily process where it's okay.
I believe we need to start reaching back sometime. When you're so independent, your father passed away at a young age, correct? You had separation issues right there. You can be raised up by a father that wasn't very good and have those same kind of feelings behind those, you know, and you grow up being independent because I've never seen
my father step up.
Man take care of him.
Right.
Because I mean, I grew up in a house with when my dad died. I had a stepdad.
I got to say,
all my life.
Yeah, a lot of women that are like that probably have that approach because they have to take care of themselves. They've never seen nobody take care of their mother or them in their young age.
Financially, you know, it's like you saw the control that it had over my mother, and it's like, oh, I don't want to be like that. I feel like my mom was this housewife or she was being weak, so it's like, oh, I got to be strong because I'm not dealing with that.
You go to an extreme.
Go to extreme.
Come on, Abby.
I think this ideology has also stripped us of community because you're not able to rely on other people. Like and that's how you get burnt out, and that's how you push people away because you feel like, oh, I'm doing everything myself. I'm doing everything on my own. How many times has all of us, has your mom yelled at you because you're not helping because she feels like she has everything on her shoulders or whatever.
Right.
And so I think when you're in that mindset where you feel like you have to do everything, you push people out, and now you no longer have a community. You don't have that village. You don't have people around you to support you, to lean on when you really do need it because you haven't been exercising.
Do you see? That was so powerful what you said, because literally that's what ends up happening when you're operating in fear. You look around, there's no village around you because what you did, you said put so many walls around you, and the expectations are so unrealistic that nobody even want to deal with you.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
What you call it? Fear? What you call it? A lack of trust in anyone outside of yourself.
Yeah, but
Well, that's the second.
I think they're hand in hand.
They're hand in hand. Come on, Anna.
I mean, I grew up with mom and dad. You know, dad took care of everything, all the bills and everything. So for me, independence is very not like I've found my balance because I've seen it at home. Like my mom depends on my dad because I come from a culture again where the man takes everything and takes care of everything at the home. But then I see my mom sometimes she knits. She sells what she knits. She goes out with her friends. She does like shopping, international shipping and stuff like that. So even her dependency on my dad didn't stop her from becoming independent within the house.
Because he did what he needed to do.
Exactly.
That remind me of Proverbs 31.
Come on now.
Come on, say it. Come
For
on.
real.
Break it down for those that don't know what Proverbs 31. You're not going to put a scripture out there.
Right. It speaks on, it sets the standards for a wife, a godly wife. And it talks about like how she went and did things within her family, like to get money and things like that, and just to take care of her family. Like she wasn't independent, like in control, but she played her part to support the family and to provide for the family as well.
So when we started that acronym that you had, there was something that stood out when the independent definition was read. Can you read that again?
Yeah, it says free from outside control, not depending on another's authority.
So that's when we talk about independence, and this is why initially it came, like the spiritual component came to my mind. Free from the outside authority. Well, what would be the outside authority that we're discussing? It would be God. So I don't want to be free from that. I don't want to be, I can totally understand how as a person you want to be free from the controlling or domineering figure that may be a parent who won't let you do this or is tight with funds or restricts what you do.
Right.
But that's not what God does.
No, it's a free will.
He gives freely.
We're going to have to take a quick break right here.
I was going to.
And so when we come back, I want to ask a question here. When we come back, is independence make you strong? Is it a strength or a weakness?
Ooh.
And if it is a strength or a weakness, does it make you happy or does it make you sad?
It's a weakness and it makes you
Two-part.
sad.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, guys. We want you to.
We're gonna talk about that when we come back.
And if you guys can, the question that Brother Carter just raised, go ahead and put your thoughts and comments and just this whole
Is
conversation.
independence a strength or a weakness?
Mm.
And are you happy or you're sad?
And then also any other questions that you want to ask. We're going to take a quick break
All
and we'll come back with the. Is that time
The
already?
Q&A.
Well, all right, now. Did y'all enjoy that music? You know what? I am so
When you
proud.
got the Lord on your side, there ain't much you can't do.
Come on now.
Facts.
Behind the scene. Come on. It's time for them shout outs and we
Yes.
can get right at it.
I'm
Okay.
so super excited for today's shout out because
Ah.
drum roll.
See, well, y'all not gonna do that, and y'all gonna tell my husband, Brother Carter, he can't hit it. When he hit the thing and he want to do a brunch, don't do it.
Move forward. Let's move forward. Continue.
We have our Kendra Scott event today.
Mhm.
As you guys know, we have a nonprofit, LNV Enterprise Resources, Inc., where tell them a little about our initiatives for
Yes,
LNV.
ma'am.
Our initiatives are helping being with children under CPS system, foster care system. There's a lot of children out there that need our attention, our care. You know, those foster homes. Another initiative is for both children and adults with disabilities. And now we're starting a new one this year with survivors of human trafficking.
Yes. And so
That's, that's
today,
huge.
yes, and we want to talk about that here today because we have a Valentine's event today
Mhm.
at the Kendra Scott and City Center. I'm going to put up a QR code here.
And I'm kind of proud because when you get to partner with a major brand like
Right.
this,
Yeah.
a major brand like Kendra Scott taking a chance on your dream, something, initiative that God placed on your heart, I'm proud. Go ahead.
Yes. So Kendra Scott obviously sells jewelry. They have men's and women's jewelry. So shop for your loved one or just
yourself.
come treat yourself. Yeah.
Mhm.
Because 20% of those proceeds are going to go to LNV Enterprise Resources, Inc. We're going to be there today. We're going to have a table set up and tell you guys and greet you guys and all those kinds of things.
Get our autograph.
And get our autograph. Take pictures with us because, you know, we're famous or whatever. There on the screen, we have a QR code to RSVP and receive a goodie bag with your purchase whenever you come in.
Some nice merch in there.
That's right. But we also recognize that we don't have, not all of our audience is located in the Houston area.
Right.
So we have an online code that you can use.
That's by Abigail's shoulder right there.
Yes, it's available from today till tomorrow at midnight.
Yes.
And the code is giveback-FTHDN. And that'll allow you to online shop, and then we will still receive those proceeds if you are not located in the Houston area or you can't make it out. Remember, that is in City Center.
That's the Memorial.
Memorial, yes. 816 Town and Country Boulevard, Suite 131. In
And
Houston,
if you don't
Texas.
want to do any of that, we always take your donations.
That's
to go
right.
to LV with Val.
No, LV.
No.
I'm sorry.
Abigail with quick no.
LVINC.com.
Yes, there you go. And click on the link donate and just donate all the time. Because
Yes.
we are really putting every single penny back toward the initiative. As Adonna said earlier, he's very selective of where he gives because people don't really do what they say.
Mm.
On everything that we do what we say and we put it right back.
And she got the receipts, y'all.
I have the
Right.
receipt. There you go. Thank you.
Tell them that email address again.
LVERINC.com.
There you go.
It's not,
Yes.
Okay, there you
I'm
go.
gonna play a quick. Yeah, it's a website. But it's okay.
It's a
Same
website.
thing.
That's the same thing.
I'm gonna play a quick video for you guys just to talk a little bit more about that Valentine's event, and hopefully y'all can make it out. Please come.
Oh.
Come join us for some Valentine's Day jewelry shopping. Whether you're shopping for a loved one or treating yourself, come shop at Kendra Scott City Center on Saturday, February 10th from 3 to 6 p.m. here in Houston, Texas. All purchases made during this time will help support LNV Enterprise Resources, Inc. in our 2024 initiatives. You're not located in Houston? No worries. An online code will be available. For more details or to make a donation, please visit lverinc.com.
Amen.
And I'm gonna put up that code one more time so you guys can pause and get the information you need.
Okay, y'all.
Let me
It's
just
on
say
our
something.
Okay, go
LVE.
ahead.
Because if you partner with a company like that, you normally only get about 5, maybe 10% of the proceeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting 20% that's a big thing.
Well, and I'm glad you said that. And I have to give credit where credit is due. I have an amazing team. That Anna right there, Anna is she is so invested, and that's why it's so important that you connect and you have people that really believe in the vision. And
Thank you, Ms. Scott. I'm
Thank
very
you.
passionate about everything. You know,
Mhm.
I know you have goals for the nonprofit itself, but I also have goals and expectations for myself for the role that you've put me in. So I'm very proud to be here. I'm very passionate about it. I really
and it
love it.
shows. It shows. So thank you, Adonis,
Mhm.
for recognizing
Keep up the good work there.
because people, when you do companies, they're not really giving that much back. And when they say 20%, so y'all go shop with Kendra
Mhm.
Scott because
Yeah.
they
They
really
give-
do
They
believe
giving
in.
back more than the church.
Yeah.
He ain't lying.
He ain't lying.
Right.
So remember, and the other thing that Kendra Scott, and I'm gonna move fast,
Mm.
they always recognize you on your birthday. So that
Yeah.
tells you that their whole initiative is about giving something back in connection.
Mhm.
So, hey, come on, today is important.
Yes.
Please give back. All right.
Come give yourself some love too.
Give you.
All right.
We had a question at the end,
Yes,
but
sir.
due to time strengths, we don't.
It's
we're
a
not
Q&A
gonna-
section. Yeah. Let's roll with
Let's
it.
roll with it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So right now we have our poll right now on YouTube, and the answer that won was, how can I find the balance
What were all the
with the
questions?
independence?
What were all the choices?
All the choices I gave were, yes, I can't find the balance, so it is getting in people's way, the independence.
Mhm.
And the other one was, no, I need to feel independent.
Okay.
And the last one that has 64% votes is, how can I find the balance?
So they're still asking the question.
Mhm.
Yes.
And I think that's where most people are. And I'm going to say, just start. It always goes back to you giving yourself grace
Mhm.
and loving yourself. And it's okay with you not having to be strong, not having to have it all together, and more importantly, trusting God.
A lot of times when you feel like that and like I have to have this control, I have to be independent, it comes from insecurity.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's the root
That's the
of
root
it. And so it's just like when you
So
work
it's a
on that,
weakness then.
it's a weakness. And when you work on understanding who you are and just actually knowing who you are, because a lot of times you don't really
don't even
fully
know.
know who you are and you don't appreciate much about yourself.
Mm.
So you grab on to some things where you feel you have control
Too
and say,
much.
oh, I'm independent. I'm this, I'm that. You're really fighting against the voices that you hear in your head that, oh, I'm not enough. Oh, I'm not good enough. And I can't do this. And I'm weak in this area, just from just different word curses, that
Yes.
came your way or whatever. And you hold on to that and you fight against that by saying, oh, I'm independent. I got this. I'm in control. But,
You ain't in control.
But
of
in
anything.
actuality, you're not.
you're
Right.
really not. And it's okay, to not be good at certain things. Embrace that and seek help in it.
Ooh.
And I would add to that and say, people, stop taking yourself so serious. Sit back and laugh sometime at your own self. Because sometimes you get caught up in these different atmospheres, and it can actually be damaging to your whole being.
Yeah.
So be careful of that.
I think one of the things, and then I'm going to move to AD. One of the things that I love so much about Brother Carter, my husband, is that he's my balance. And so I have a, if there is a type, I can be a type A sometime, but he always put me in this place of, even when I'm kind of like this, chill out.
Yeah.
It ain't that serious. You not that.
It is that serious when you're in the moment, so
Well,
you got to
but-
let you have your moment.
But what I'm saying to you, when and you know how I need it. And so you give me that grace to go through it, but then you bring me back down to earth to let me know that, hey, no matter where we go, what you got going on, I got you. God got you. It's okay.
Yeah.
So, just.
AD talked about a covering. You got a cover.
Oh, baby, say it
Right.
again.
A good blanket.
And sometimes, too, sometimes it don't have to do with insecurity. It just depends on the person, but it has a lot to do with fear of being hurt.
Yeah.
And that is insecurity.
So it's like, I don't want to be hurt anymore, but it's okay to be hurt. Because guess what? You probably be hurt again.
That's them past hurts. Them past,
But
now I don't know how to trust no more.
Right.
But again, when that thing happens, it takes you back to the past.
Yeah.
And I'm still allowing
And
that
I'm
past
still
to hurt.
letting that past to come back forward.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
AD, and then we're going to find
everything that you all have said is 100% spot on. I think the challenge where we find the balance is we find the balance within community. Abigail mentioned that earlier, that independence takes you away from community, and within community there is that protection so that you don't have to worry about being hurt again, because you got somebody that's got your back. You have somebody that's got your side. You got somebody that's got your front. When you're out there by yourself, you're out on an island, and you there is no one to protect you but you. And if you can't see a 360-degree view of what's going on, but that community can. If you have that covering of, a big brother, a father, a sister, a grandmother, someone who has experienced life and can tell you, hey, you might not want to make this right turn, you want to make this left turn, or hey, he is really out for this, or this is his intention, because
listen.
Exactly.
And it's important to have a community that's not afraid to tell you when you're wrong or right too.
Right.
So you just can't have a yes community.
100%.
Right.
So
then it's not a community.
Right. So with that, I think many of us have that fear because we don't want to be hurt, but we have to open ourselves up and be vulnerable. And you can't do that if you don't have that type of community.
Ooh, this is deep. Okay. So come on, Abigail. We got to wrap this thing up. Golly.
Yes. So we're going to go into our final thoughts. So we're going to go around and you guys can, say what you thought about it.
Before we do that, can we do some of these comments?
thought.
I'm sorry. I want to bring the guests in on this one here because we have a few comments. We have some.
One of the questions we already answered. They were asking about feminism and what we thought about that.
But I really want to give, because as I've seen some of the comments.
Give a couple of shout outs. That's all she said.
Yeah, just give some of them because they really took the time to give some comments. I just want to say this to the Carter crew. You guys are cold out here. Even though we're in
all 1,800 plus y'all.
I'm in the show and I'm really in the show, but my eyes keep going to how much love is out there in your comments and how engaged you guys are. And if we had to say something back to every comment that came through, we're going to miss somebody. And so I don't want to miss someone, but there are some things that stands out. And I want to say this to a couple of people, if you can. A couple of people that have really touched my heart that I know that are faithfully watching. Lanita Bennett, go ahead and go with it. Go ahead. You got something up there for Lanita?
Well, we already read that one off. I'm just putting up comments that
Okay,
as you talk.
Okay, so there are people that are literally coming in here and they are in here before time. I want to tell y'all thank you. It's encouraging to me. I am growing from you all. Even when I'm tired, literally, I am working all the time. There's a host out there that's big and talking about the heart is working. I want to say I am one of these women that are always working. And Saturdays is truly my time for me personally.
This is your therapy here.
This is my therapy. This is my woosah moment. This is the time that I am never tired for. I'm excited to come on here every Saturday because I learn, I grow from you all. I thank you so much. I thank you guys so much. You don't know what you do for me. Just to see you guys coming in and showing love and support.
Appreciate
words. I can't even tell you what you do for me. And it really it gives me confirmation that I am on the journey that God has for me. Amen. So thank you guys so much. The therapy is real. I need it. I am healing. I am growing. I am becoming the woman that God ordained me to be. And I see the growth every day. So it allows me to give grace to other people. But I can't end this show.
It's going to be hard to follow that now.
Ooh, I can't. And I'm through talking after them because I'm going to let them take it out. I'm going to ask Christina to give your final thoughts, then AD. Then I'm going to ask for Anna, Abigail, and I'm going to end it with Brother Carter. The best, oh my God, 45 years
God
of a man
you.
That through all
Stood up with you, huh?
Yeah, through
Amen.
all of mine. You guys have no idea. He's laughing about it, but I'm not going to even laugh about it because
you've been together 45 years.
Yes, if you know
you
where I came from and where I am today, anybody that can't appreciate a man like this, someone made a comment months back talking about, I think we were having a conversation about the alpha woman and something else. and they thought, oh, it was weak. You know, this is the strongest man outside of my
It was
dad.
weak of me to be letting you be an alpha woman.
If you can remember, what was that?
It was along those lines.
It was
Yeah, I
along
don't remember
that.
exactly
it was
what
along
said.
that line,
Okay.
and
Well, God bless you.
And
whoever
I
said.
just love my husband because he never stands in the way. And I don't know why I'm going there, but it's very oh Lord Jesus. I guess we're talking about relationships and we're talking about
I know where you come from, Val.
independence.
Okay.
I could never thank God enough for having a man like you
Yeah, God
in my
bless you.
life
Thank you. God
that have
bless you.
my back, that understands me.
Front, back, side to side.
God bless
And
you.
that never feels like it's a question of his manhood because the man is solid.
I mean, but that takes a real man to allow his wife to be who she is, you know, authentic. And even if it's an alpha female, I mean, a weak man wouldn't dare be able to handle you. But you see, we be having it backwards. You see?
Backwards. So I'm going to turn to Christina.
I run my house. I don't care what y'all say out there.
What you run?
I run my house.
There you go.
The vacuum cleaner, the washing machine, dishwasher. I run all of that stuff around there.
Okay, Christina, your final thoughts.
My final thoughts is just thank you for having me. It was an amazing show. And just like I say all the times, I think I ended, you know, give yourself grace, love yourself.
Yes.
You know, and accept yourself as you are. You'll grow and it does not change overnight, but just give yourself grace, you know, and be at peace with yourself and just grow.
Grow.
Yes.
Alrighty. AD?
Yeah, I think the culmination of this conversation is the realization that we were created to be in relationship with others. And the foundation of that is community. So if you're someone who feels as if they need to be independent, first question I would ask is, what community do you have? And if you don't have one, join one. And then you realize how much of an independent person you don't need to be. Whether it is with your intimate relationships, whether it is with your familiar relationships, business, you need to lean on others and others need to lean on you.
Your local church, whatever it may be.
Amen.
So that's what I would leave it with. Community is a necessity in this time, and it will be, because that's how we were created to thrive.
Amen.
Amen.
Anna?
Well, I'm going to say that don't forget to be independently dependent on yourself.
Oh,
Boom, right there.
Work.
Go love yourself. I know. I mean, I've never been on a Valentine's Day ever. Not even with the exes I've had.
She's gonna bring it back.
Okay,
So
wait a
what
minute.
I'm gonna do?
We're not just gonna graze over that.
We got to come back to that,
That's
AD.
another
That's another conversation.
I'm sorry.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go buy myself some jewelry,
All right.
take myself out for dinner, and maybe even extra shopping because I love myself. I'm gonna pamper myself.
As you should.
And you deserve it.
As you deserve.
As you should.
As I should.
My final thoughts are kind of along the lines of what AD said. Just find your community, find people to support you. You know, you want to be able to take care of yourself, but it's important to lean on others because you could be left with nothing.
Ooh.
Yes.
So those are my final thoughts.
Okay. And Brother Carter, and something just came in. I got to say this from John. Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead.
Okay. John Neville says something. And if
Brother Carter is that man that can bloom to a dead tree. We love you, Brother Carter.
yes. Say it again. Read it again. Make it clear.
Brother Carter is the man that can bloom a dead
Dead
tree. We love you, Brother Carter.
All right.
Will
God
these
bless you.
dry
That's
bones
amazing.
live again?
Amazing.
Calling me
100%.
Ezekiel.
Thank you, Neville.
All right. I appreciate it. So my final thought's going to be, you know, it's okay to be independent, but don't take it so serious.
Ooh.
You know, allow yourself, like Christina said, some grace. Allow yourself some opportunity and time to just smile about yourself. Just laugh about yourself. Stop being so serious about everything. There's a time for everything, is what Ecclesiastes says. Time for everything. There's a time to be serious and independent, and there's a time to laugh and be not so independent. So take that as it is, and God bless you. We love you and appreciate you being on Love and Victory Show with Val.
We are here. gotta get it. Come on.